All right, thank you for tuning in. My name is Keith B. Dixon. This morning, we're going to talk about something really important, and I think when I say important, it's critical. It's how people see you. We're going to talk about value this morning. Value is critical, you guys, but it's also very subjective. Value is also very subjective. Matter of fact, it's almost like it's in the eye of the beholder thing. You ever hear that? Before I get into value, I want to share a story with you to get you thinking about the importance of value. How you present yourself is generally how people will value you. So if you show up to the scene and you got on some rundown shoes, or maybe even some crazy looking shoes, people are going to place value on you that way. Value is another word for judgment, you guys. People are going to judge you based on how you look, size, language, even smell. People, they smell good, right? We just assume you smell good. They smell good. Hair, everything. That determines value. Matter of fact, you could be the sharpest guy in the room, but they may say something like, he's a pretty smart guy, but he or she's got to work on their dress. That's how people are. They're always going to pass judgment. That's part of your value. Your conversation. How do you conversate with people? People are going to pass judgment on you based on how you conversate. Are you using words properly? Are you using words in context? Are you out of context? Are you a know-it-all, a be-it-all? People are going to place judgment on you. And that can value you or devalue you. And that's the subjective part of value. If this is making sense to you, I want you to just sit back in your chair and really think about it. Value is subjective. Value is in the eye of the beholder. Now look, here's the reality. Let's say you're trying to reach across the board. You want to get everybody's money. Well, guess what? You've got to have value that reaches across the board. So if you were to go into a restaurant, a formal restaurant, dressed as a punk rocker, you're going to draw different types of attention. It may be good, it may be bad. Matter of fact, they might just say, oh, he's an entertainer. But either way, if they say you're an entertainer and they're they're putting a label on you, they're putting a value on you. Is this making complete sense for you guys? Because we like to put labels on people. That's what we do as a society. Our legal system does it every single day. Proven innocent until guilty. The scales of justice are blind. Well, that's significant because what they're saying is our society will judge you, but in the legal system, we're blind to that. We only see the facts. It depends on how the scale's bound. If you want to reach across the board, if you want to appeal, you have to create a presence that thinks like the people you want to be like. Now, if that market is broad, no problem. But if you're in a narrow market, the thing that you got to look for is, can you support yourself in that narrow market? So if you belong to the suit club, like we're going to say the thin tie club, right? Will the thin tie club support you? Those are the things that you have to look forward to. If you're a rapper, how long can you be a rapper for before they look at you and say, you know what? That guy's pretty old. He better transition out. Yes, you have to make impressions. You have to make impressions that are going to allow you to sustain yourself in the market that you are attempting to target. This is how you build value. This is how you build value. Do you want to build value? Because I do. Do you want to build value? That's the question. If your brand doesn't add up to the quality, if your look doesn't add up to the quality of the look, if your language does not add up to the quality of the language, they are going to prejudge you. I'm going to be very candid with you right now. No one cares about how good you think your product is. That's why they create surveys. Let me say that again. No one cares about how good you think your product is. Matter of fact, the more you sell your product, the more you drive people away. Now, how many of you there was a conversation going on between me and an author online, and we were talking about selling. How many of you actually saw that conversation? Because her position was, you know what? Find out what the client actually needs and fill that need. And she was basically saying that value-based approach and all this other stuff was old school. It was jargon. Well, you know what? After careful consideration and thought, there is a lot of jargon out there. But the thing that I'm talking about in terms of value is something that we cannot ignore, because we all have value systems. It's theoretical. It's scientific. We all have a value system. And the way that you're going to deal with that moving forward is finding out what those values are and plugging in. Does their value line up with the value that I'm presenting? If the answer is no, you walk away. There is no, let me see if I can fit you in, because that's where you start to develop problems and you really start to disrupt your workflow. We have to have value in everything that we do. We have to make sure that our value adds connect. Now look, there's a lot of things out there going on. There's a lot of things out there going on in terms of what we perceive. But here's the thing that I'm going to tell you that's really important in the value system is the fundamental of it. What is it rooted in? Because there are some people that are never going to be your clients. They are never going to be the type of people that you can really service. So you have to leave them where they are. You have to realize that, because when you don't realize it, what typically happens is we go back, if I hit the rewind button, we start fitting people into our workflows and they don't really fit. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's just a thing that's not going to work for you. It's not going to allow you to flow. You have to manage people's expectations. If you're married, in a relationship, significant other, cousin, mother, brother, you have to manage that expectation. You have to manage what people believe about you. You have to manage what people believe about the value that you are presenting. You can't just put it out there and expect them to understand it. I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't work that way. You have to invest time. There's no way around it. I hate to be the bearer of news. It's not bad news. I'm going to tell you, it's not good news. It's life's news. I'm going to give you some secret sauce. The recipe. I'm going to unlock the vault for you right now. Watch this. Watch this. I'm getting in close. Watch this. If you want to be a business owner, you have to believe that you already are. Because to be a business owner, you got to think like one, and you got to believe and know that you really are. Now watch this. They didn't tell you this in business school, so I'm going to tell you right now. You can dream your destiny into existence. You can create the business plan inside your mind, and it will materialize, because the universe is just that powerful.